Hello, welcome everyone. MTL Sports Podcast. We're back. NFL Championship Week is concluded. We already know the two teams moving on to the Super Bowl February 11th in Las Vegas. We got the 49ers, we got the Chiefs. But first, we're going to talk about the two games this past Sunday. We're going to go over them in their entirety and give you our takeaways. And then we got a little bit of rapid fire. Homecoming weekend was for Mason. Took the dub. We'll talk about the game. And then we're gonna recap some WWE. We never done this before, so we're gonna see how this goes. Royal Rumble was this past Saturday. So we'll go over all the matches, all the men's and the women's Royal Rumble, and all that good stuff. So please stay tuned. We're going to start with the first game on this fabulous NFL Championship Sunday. It was the AFC Championship game. We had the Ravens versus the Chiefs. The game was in Baltimore. Ravens had home field advantage throughout, being that they were the number one seed. One thing I think a lot of people have learned is, you can't bet against Mahomes, even on the road in his first AFC road championship game. So, Lawrence, I'll give you the floor first. I guess give me your reaction to the game, and then I guess we'll do takeaways last.
Well, I mean, the reaction to the game is it you can't bet against Mahomes, or you can't get a bet against Taylor Swift? Because I think it's just a Swiftie effect. Because the saddest thing is, I mean, they were posting her all over the NFL Instagram page and everything after they won. No. Like, she was like the first slide of all the players who won after the game.
Oh, the picture of her kissing Travis.
Yes, that one. And then if you look at the other ones, like Christian McCaffrey and I think it's Olivia Cupo, whatever her name is, they weren't even on NFL. They weren't even on NFL Instagram. And, Christian McCaffrey's he's the kind of do-everything guy for the 49ers right now. And he got no love. Absolutely none.
He's kind of a big deal, too. They did that?
Yeah, they didn't even put him on there. They did not put them on the NFL page. Now, the 49ers did, and Christian McCaffrey put himself up there, but now the NFL took a little bit, and then they did it later on after, maybe some speculation from others. So, maybe because Olivia doesn't have as much clout as Taylor, but that shouldn't matter. She's not the focal point here. It's the players, But anywho, what did I gain from that game? What did I learn? I learned that there's a big stigmatism in the NFL. Like, apparently we can crap on Josh Allen for having an amazing game, but if Lamar Jackson has an atrocious game, it's not his fault. He's fine. It is what it is. It's like, dude, no, you gave Josh Allen 17 points against the Chiefs. Josh Allen won that game. You give Lamar Jackson 17 points, he can barely even score 10.
Yeah.
What did I think of it, though? I mean, his wide receivers didn't show up. Only Zay Flowers did. And I felt bad for Zay Flowers because he's throwing the ball in the end zone. And that was a little heartbreaking. But, he's only doing it because no one else is doing anything to make any kind of plays. So he's just trying to do his hardest out there to help Lamar. Lamar's trying to throw the ball over the field. But, I don't know, these small dink and dunk routes, they're working. Because they're playing prevent, basically. Because you're just playing you in a cover two. Because they're not afraid that you're going to run the ball at all. And the one thing that blows my mind is you literally watched the Bills a week before. I'm not going to tell you, they teach you how to beat the Chiefs. But the Bills kind of put on a performance that showed you how to beat the Chiefs. And then the Ravens just absolutely did not follow suit in the slightest.
Yeah, I agree. I think everything you said was correct. 1,000% on the money. We learned, my biggest thing is, like I said in the opener, don't bet against Mahomes. Underdog. He was 4.5 point underdog at before tip off. ridiculous. He was going up because he was what 3.5 to open.
Yeah, that's because the whole United States wanted Lamar and the Ravens to win, except for Kansas City, except for Missouri and maybe Kansas.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's more so people want Lamar to actually, win more than one playoff game in a row, or if that's people basically behaving like just like the Patriots back then, where okay, we don't want the Patriots back in the Super Bowl, we don't want them back in the AFC Championship.
I'll be honest with you, I'm the Patriots. I couldn't care if Lamar wins or not. I mean, it doesn't matter who was against Patrick Mahomes. I was rooting for whoever was against. Now, did I enjoy knowing that I was going to have Lamar versus Patrick Mahomes for this? Not really. I can't say that I was all that excited because whenever the moment gets big, I'm not saying it's easy to take advantage of Lamar, but you kind of see consistently people always take advantage of Lamar in these situations. Okay, let's take away his passing. Let's make him run the ball. But they didn't even try to run the ball.
Yeah. We'll go over those. We'll go over all these aspects in a little bit, but yeah, biggest takeaway: don't bet against Mahomes. And secondly, we got to give this man criticism. We can't sugarcoat. We can't make excuses any longer for Lamar Jackson. Yes, he will be a 2-time MVP. 1 time will be unanimous. He has deserved, rightfully so, both of his MVPs. But in the playoffs, this man has consistently shown that he does not play well in the big moments. This man has consistently shown that he can only win 1 game in the row. He can only win against what? A rookie QB and Ryan Tannehill. And that's no knock against CJ Stroud. It's no knock against Ryan Tannehill. But we already know, hey, the Titans, when Lamar beat them, they were okay. And then the last week versus the Texans, right? We know the Texans are a year ahead. All right. The whole team was beat up. Ravens are fully healthy. They were fully healthy in this game. You did what you were supposed to do last week. This week, you just didn't do what you're supposed to do. You just laid an egg, honestly. Your defense held Mahomes to 17 points, and you can only put up 10. And I get Zay Flowers fumbled in the end zone. I get that part. You give him what? That touchdown, then it's what? Tied? I don't care, bro. You give anyone else that defense, and they getting the job done. And when I mean anyone else, like you said, Josh Allen, he gets the job done. Joe Burrow has beaten Mahomes 3 times, once in the AFC Championship game. He's getting it done. I think Jalen Hurts probably gets it done. Are we agreeing with this? The top tier quarterbacks, again, if their defense plays like this, they're getting the job done, bro. So he needs to be crucified. I understand maybe his offense didn't show up. Maybe his offensive coordinator didn't stick to what they did best is, run the ball. They didn't run the ball well on 2nd and 3rd down. Even in short situations, they didn't run the ball. So they got away from what they do best. But even still, you're the quarterback, you're the MVP, bro. You can audible. You can audible the plays. It's not like you have to stick to the game plan. If you really that guy, if you really that smart and have football IQ, bro, you make changes at the line. You don't have to follow the game plan. You improvise like the greats do. Peyton Manning improvised. Mahomes improvises. Joe Burrow improvises. Tom Brady, the great quarterbacks that improvise, bro. And he just didn't do that. He just didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm agreeing with you. Okay, so I pulled up the top 5 passing guys in the league this season. So Tua Tagovailoa, does he win this game? Now that's still a question mark out to me, but honestly, the biggest thing that came out in this game was the game plan was not right. You don't have the wide receivers to play like that, obviously.
No.
Only one wide receiver came to play. Literally only one. The rest of them were non-existent. Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad is still a moron. The fact that he said that it was completely on Lamar that they lost that game. No, I mean, your son could have got open maybe a few more times. They tried to get him the ball. Was he ever open? No. Was he running boring routes was he even trying? I could never tell. Well, the only person the whole game that was ever trying was Zay Flowers and Lamar. Lamar literally has to throw a ball to himself in order to get yards. Like, dude. Lamar Jackson has 13 passing yards. 13 receiving yards. That's almost as much as Mark Andrews. Okay, Mark Andrews did have just a bum knee. Okay, he's a little messed up. Okay, I don't know. Maybe you probably shouldn't have been playing him. Isaiah Likely, where were you? You barely showed up. Gus Edwards, I mean, you're a running back, but damn, Lamar basically received more than you ran for. I mean, that's not good. Can't win that way. Odell Beckham Jr., dude, you had 9 more yards, and you ran. I don't know how many plays they run. They ran the ball 8 times. They had 37 passing plays. So we're saying Odell Beckham Jr. was on the field for about 40 plays, and you caught 3 balls, 22 yards. Like, that's awesome, dude. You sure did a whole lot, man. Yeah, you really put it to him, you know. I mean, you give Jared Goff this defense. I think Jared Goff wins. After what he did to the 49ers, yeah, he did kind of fall apart in the second half. But in reality, I don't know. We'll talk about that one in a second. But I don't know if I'm blaming all on Jared Allen. There were some sellers on that team and coaching questionable. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of guys that you can give this team to, and they would not have had that happen. I bet you $1,000 Trevor Lawrence wishes he had a defense that good. Trevor Lawrence wishes he could have a defense that could help him only have to score 17 in a game, 18 in a game. There's just a lot of guys out there who wish they could only have to score 20 points to win a game.
Especially against Mahomes, because Mahomes can put up points. And this is an off year where the offense has been up and down, mostly down. They had 2 good playoff games, but finally they came back to earth. Rightfully so, because they're going against the number 1 defense. So you would figure, hey, if Mahomes scores 17 points, like you said, any other top tier quarterback would have got the job done. And the 2 turnovers, the 1 interception into triple coverage, all his fault. The strip sack, holding the ball too long, bro. The man was in the pocket for like 10 seconds, and then finally he decides to throw the ball and it gets strip sacked. Whoop-de-doo. Like Stevie Wonder saw that, bro. Like, come on now. Like, just the turnovers throughout his playoff career so far it's not a good look, bro. Like, I think we need to stop sheltering him. We need to stop making excuses. It is his fault. I'm giving him majority of the blame. This is Lamar Jackson, because if this was Josh Allen, if this was Joe Burrow, if this was Jalen Hurts, we would kill them. So we got to give the same energy to those guys as we got to give to Lamar Jackson, even though he's going to win the MVP. It's just fair. It's just fair. And that's what we try to do on this podcast. And I wish more of the national media heads would do the same.
In terms of passing yards, Lamar was only 15th in the league in passing yards. He was behind Hurts, Carr, Sam Howell, Stafford, Lawrence, who didn't play like 3 games, Baker Mayfield, C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love, Patrick Mahomes, Brock Purdy, number 5, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, and Tua Tagovailoa. Lamar Jackson only threw for 50 more yards than Geno Smith, and I'm pretty sure Geno Smith missed like 3 games as well.
Yeah.
And then Gardner Minshew was only 300 behind, but Gardner Minshew didn't play for probably about 4 games of this whole season. So, I mean, you're basically just right there with a lot of other cats in terms of passing yards for the regular season. And, you didn't have to throw for a whole lot during the first game against the Texans, but if that's your game plan, and obviously it is, he doesn't throw that much every game. He's winning the MVP by not throwing a lot. So why is he throwing for 272 yards? Dude, why is he throwing for 272 yards? Why did he outthrow Mahomes? Why did he throw more balls than Mahomes? I don't know. Well, he didn't throw more balls than Mahomes. Why did he outthrow Mahomes? I don't know. Shouldn't. There should never be a place in which the Chiefs actually outran the Ravens. And now we're not just talking about yardage. They did barely beat them in yardage, but they absolutely crushed them in absolute attempts. And that's all that matters is the attempts. Isaiah Pacheco got 24 times to try to rack up his yards. Gus Edwards got 3 chances. Justice Hill got 3 chances. The rest of them went to Lamar. And half of those were just scrambles. So half those don't even count. They weren't even legitimate running. We have a plan from the start of this snap. We're gonna run the ball.
Yeah. Bad game plan. They should have stuck with what they do best.
Wait. So the thing about the game plan, right? Okay, so we're gonna give Lamar slack because Todd Monken went against his game plan. But you're gonna tell me that Josh Allen got a new offensive coordinator in like week 14, 15?
Yep.
They switched to Joe Brady at week 14 or 15. And this is basically Joe Brady's first time ever having offensive duties in the playoffs. But I'm not sorry, but Joe Brady called a better offensive performance than Munkin, and I think he did better than both games. Because you can obviously say during the Texans game, did the offense really beat the Texans? No, I think the defense just beat the hell out of the Texans, and then the offense just got to follow suit.
Yep. They got short field. Their defense didn't let the Texans get in the red zone. I mean, it's just too easy, bro. So I can see why they beat the hell out of them. But when you don't get easy short fields and you don't get turnovers, and you cause turnovers, meaning the offense causes turnovers, then it's a different ball game, and then you're really in trouble. But it just happened to be that you really wasn't in that much trouble because your defense honestly played one hell of a game. And this will makes it even more like sour to me is because like they did the best they could, and like you only needed to score like 10 more points, buddy, and then we're not having this conversation. And the 2 turnovers, the poor play, poor decisions, just like, bro, it's pretty sour. Yeah, but I think takeaways though, I think Baltimore probably I think there's gonna be a little regression next year. I think Lamar's new contract's gonna kick in if it hasn't already. And then they gotta make decisions on some of these guys. I know Queen is a free agent, I think. Odell is.
Well, if I'm them, I'm not keeping Odell anyways after what his dad say about Lamar, because obviously Lamar's your guy going forward. But no, I think the absolute joke is I think that's about any quarterback who gets overpaid. Do I think Lamar deserves a lot of money? Yeah, I think he deserves a lot of money. Does he deserve the money that he's about to get this next season? No. Does any player, one single player, deserve that much money? No. Because the problem when you give that one player that much money, well, how am I going to afford to pay everybody else? What is it that he's getting paid? Like 13% of the salary cap is just strictly on Lamar. So
yeah,
what you're telling
he's
me,
getting like 50 a year.
Yeah, so you're telling me that of your 53-man roster, which technically doesn't even count. It's not even your 53-man roster. It's like your 64-man roster or 65-man roster because you got some practice squad guys who make bare minimum. Doesn't matter, bare minimum is still chump change and adds up. But regardless, we'll just say it's from the 52-man roster. So out of your 52 men, you got one guy who takes 13%. Dude, come on, how? When Patrick Mahomes came out that contract a few years ago, and we were all like, dude, that was a stupid contract. Now you look at the Patrick Mahomes contract and you see everyone else's what they're getting now. It's like, damn, Patrick Mahomes contract, it ain't even that bad, low key. It's bad, but it ain't that bad. Plus, Patrick Mahomes knows he's going to make up for it in TV commercials. Lamar, maybe you should just, make up for it in TV commercials. That's what LeBron does.
Yeah, he that's the thing, like Baltimore, they typically pay their defensive guys, so like especially on offense, like they're gonna have to rely on rookies and more of these guys that come there on like these 1-year deals, because like going forward, bro, like you said, you paying Lamar like 14, almost 14% of the cap. You already pay your defense a lot. Like it's gonna be hard to kind of have the same team around him, especially offensively, because I don't know at one point or when they have to pay Andrews, but I'm sure Andrews is probably gonna be up in a year or two, so they're gonna have to make some tough choices. But we can talk about that when we go over the year review. But still, I think that's the biggest takeaway is there's gonna be some regression in Baltimore, and takeaway from Kansas City: never count out Mahomes. Moving on, let's move on to the later game, 6:30, 49ers, Lions. One hell of a game in the first half. Honestly, I think most of us thought that the Lions were going to run away with this one because they were having their way with the 49ers. And then things started happening. All right. I'm sure all of you that have watched know exactly what we're talking about. Lawrence, give us your thoughts. Lions, 49ers. Some of these questionable coaching decisions. Do you agree with them?
No, dude, I don't. I don't agree with it. I mean, I get it. They're like, oh, we live and die by it because it got us here. But okay, the first one I'm okay with. Okay, you went for it on fourth down the first time. I get it. That's your mentality. But you saw what happened immediately after. They scored immediately. Then on your next drive, you had a fumble, and then all of a sudden the game's tied. Okay.
So you're talking about, for people at home, you're talking about the fourth down where they were up 14 still?
Yes, when they were up 14 still, I get it. I told Annalee here, I said, hey, we should take this to a three score game. You should still do a 3-score game. But that was just my philosophy. That's what I thought. Doesn't matter what I think. What matters is what they did. And you know what? I can respect the hustle and I can respect what got you there. I can respect going for it then. Now, everything that came out after that is very telling, okay? Things started to spiral because of that move. It's just honest. You just have to understand that bad things were just going to happen because jujus and mojos and whatever you want to call it, momentum just shifted a little. And you got to take it back. You got to do anything you can. So when it became 27-24, and you got that chance to take it to 27-27, I mean, this is the same coach who says it's all about the first to 30. Whoever gets to 30 points first. First to 30. 30 points first. Okay? And you get 27, it's 27-27. And if they score a touchdown on you, you're still within a game. You can still come back. You can still fight. And then they just didn't kick a field goal. And then, I had the 7.5 spread, so I was thinking to myself, I was like, I don't even care about the spread anymore. I don't even care about the cover. I was so in for the Lions to win it. I was not in here about no cover anymore. And then the biggest killer, was I think they had like a minute and 43 left on the clock with 3 timeouts at the 10-yard line. In my head, I was just like, just kick the field goal, dude. Just kick the field goal now. That you're still gonna have to go down the field, but at least you won't waste any timeouts. And in case you can't move it down the field on this onside kick, at least you can go 3 and out and get the ball back and hope for some miracles. What you did, you had no miracles. There were no miracles. By this point in the game, your kicker's so cold. It's done. So it's done. You never let your kicker do anything. If you're so skittish about a kicker, why don't you just go get a really good kicker? That's what scares you so much. I don't even think Bagley is all that bad this year. I looked at his stat. He hasn't even been that bad. He's been pretty decent. He's been the top 15 kicker. So you got a top 15 kicker. What are you so scared to kick a goddamn field goal for? I'm like, what? Doesn't make any sense. That's what ticked me off. That's the whole point of the game that ruined it all. The first one, okay, fair, respect it. That's your game. That's how you like to play. That's what you like to do. The second one, you're just a moron, dude. You're just a glutton for punishment, and that's all you will be. Because if you looked at your team, like after they scored that touchdown, like half the team just stayed on the ground. When it was 27-24 and they just scored that, half the team just laid there on the ground like they had just been defeated. And they were still like over a whole quarter left. I literally watched them score that when Mitchell ran it in. Like it was like, dude, McCaffrey ran it in. They all looked deflated and defeated on the field. All the Lions guys, they were slow to get up. When you're slow to get up, it means some of your heart's just gone. All you need is a little bit of points. All you need is a little bit of a spark. Not a freaking 4th down attempt. And then the fact of the matter is, you always try to throw it on 4th down. When your running game is very electric. David Montgomery was running to the outside and getting 6 yards because no one expects him to run to the outside. Jahmyr Gibbs is running up the middle and getting 4 yards, 5 yards because no one's thinking he's going to run up the middle. They literally switched their roles, and it worked. And then you just never played with it more. I don't know. See, all that did, that second half mentality, now I'm starting questioning Ben Johnson. You know what? Maybe Carolina was right not to take Ben Johnson. Whatever, I don't care. I'm going to take a shower.
Hey, I agree with everything you said, man. I think Lions definitely this is a choke job. They literally had the game in their grasp. They were having their way with the 49ers in the 49ers stadium, in Levi Stadium. And uh I think here's two things. I think the Lions were too conservative. I think they needed to keep being aggressive. But then in the same breath, being too aggressive on these fourth downs is also what cost them. So I give them both of those points right there. I give 50-50 blame. And the reason why they lost. The first fourth down, bro, you have to take the points. If you take the points, you're up by 17. It's 3 scores. You stop the bleeding a little bit because you give your team hope. When they see it's like seeing the ball go through the hoop if you're a hooper. You're in a slump, you're iced, you haven't made a shot all game, and you just get an easy free throw, you get an easy layup. It's like, damn, like okay, the ball went through the basket. I'm feeling good now. All right, I feel better. That's what that would have been like. And then the second one, when you kick the field goal, you're tied. You're tied. At worst case scenario, which is what happened, they get the ball and then they go back and score, which is what they were doing the whole time. 49ers were in control of the second half. I don't know why in the hell that they just gave them a short field like that. I don't know. It's just dumb, bro. And like you said, like if you were that lacking in confidence of your kicker, you probably should have maybe tried out some kickers before this game. Like in the weather, like I don't think the weather was a factor. It wasn't really windy. It didn't seem like San Fran's kicker had too big of an issue. Now didn't he miss the first field goal, but it was just a little fluke. You can miss a field goal here and there, but I don't know. I think that's these decisions is definitely is what killed the Lions mojo, and then also I'll bring up the fact that when they were driving on that last drive and they were within field goal range and they knew they needed to hit a field goal and then get an onside kick recovery. And when you have like a minute 40, a minute 30, brother, you should probably kick the field goal. You have your 3 timeouts. Let's kick the field goal. The field goal was only like 40 some yards. And then let's try the onside kick because okay, if you don't recover the onside kick, at least you have 3 timeouts so you can at least attempt to stop them one more time. Like, I think that they weren't thinking ahead too much. They were only thinking in the moment. And when you're playing checkers instead of chess, this is what happens.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair though, I said, I still respect the first one. It's the second one. That second one was just no. There, and then the fact that like after in the post press conference, he's like, "Oh, I defend everything I did." Like it's like no, like you can. I get it. It's in the moment. You're still heated, but I hope that he now has seen like a full replay of the game, and maybe he can see a little bit more of the, I guess maybe the personalities or the emotions that were coming out on his side. I hope he actually saw a little bit of that and now looks back on it like, yeah, I should have took that field goal. That's all I want to hear is I should have taken that field goal.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope there's a lot of reflecting because they definitely can learn a lot from this game. I think, and I was listening to the sports radio on the way back, and they're like, okay, I understand that this is your philosophy all year, going for it on fourth downs and being really aggressive. But you also got to realize this is the NFC Championship game. There's only one of these. You win or you go home. Like you just gotta be smarter. You sometimes you gotta be flexible in the way you're thinking because this is the game. There's not another game after this. This is the game. You gotta, like I said earlier, you're not playing checkers, bro. You're playing chess. You gotta be smart. We gotta think ahead. We gotta do what's best. You gotta think about that stuff. So,
I think he just needs to go watch a little bit of tennis. He needs to go watch Djokovic play. Yeah, he just did lose in the Australian Open, but he lost to the eventual winner, so it's fine. It's cool. It's whatever. He made it to the semifinals. But you watch Djokovic, he has the most Grand Slams for a reason. Djokovic adapts his game to whatever you're going to throw at him every time. Either he comes out there and smacks you around and takes you straight out, or he has to adjust throughout the game. The Lions just did not adjust. They thought they could play the same way they played all season. If you pay attention, the 49ers didn't play like they played all season. The 49ers changed philosophies against you, Detroit, because you did such a good job at combating what they wanted to do that you forced them to change what they wanted to do. But guess what? They changed what they wanted to do, and you weren't prepared. They did it on defense, they weren't prepared, and they happened on offense, and you weren't prepared.
Yeah, that's a fantastic way to put it, honestly. So yeah, after this, like I said in the opener, we got Chiefs, we got 49ers rematch of Super Bowl 50 from a few years ago in Super Bowl is gonna be in Las Vegas. My dad's
Was it 51? I don't know. No, 50 was Carolina Broncos. My bad.
So 51 from a few years ago. My dad's a 49ers fan, and I think he half jokingly, half serious was like, let's get tickets. And I had to explain to him that the Super Bowl is for millionaires, like the average person cannot afford. I think the cheapest tickets are like $9,000. I don't have $9,000. Don't have a credit card that has a $9,000 limit. That would not be a smart purchase right there. But anyway, any final thoughts of championship weekend? I thought it was two great matchups, two great games, but we get the same matchup from a few years ago, which I was kind of hoping for some new teams to enter the Super Bowl. But
no, I have nothing more to add to it. I think I spilled my heart. I don't know.
All right, with that, we are done recapping Championship Sunday. Coming up next, guys, Rapid Fire. Stay tuned. Rapid Fire, here we go. First up, we got a little NCAA men's basketball to cover. Mason had their homecoming game Saturday versus, who do we play? Rhode Island?
Rhode Island.
Yeah, we kind of whooped on them. Actually, no, we were kind of sweating the first half because we were down, we were playing slow, weren't playing ourselves, but we pulled out the W. Lawrence, what were your biggest takeaways from this game?
What do you mean, bro? You were sweating. I was never sweating. We were always going to win that game. I knew from the beginning of kickoff we were going to win that game. We were only down by 2 at halftime. That was nothing. Baby money. I remember telling you that. See, right there, it's telling me the George Mason line was 8.5. Okay, when I woke up I told him, I was like, we're gonna wake up and we're gonna go bet on it in Maryland. I woke up. I'm pretty sure it was like 7 a.m. I woke up. The line was at -10.5. I said, nope, I'm not going all the way to Maryland to bet on a -10.5 spread for what I think Rhode Island will cover. But I'm not going to the game to watch Rhode Island cover. I'm going there to watch Mason. Then I was like, maybe I'll take the under. And I was like, well, it's kind of hard to take the under because it's homecoming, the environment. They're not going to try to go under. They're going to try to go for it all. And they did try to go for it all. So, yeah, all the unders out there, I'm sorry. That was rough. That was a little rough. I think Markel's a little undered boy, too.
Yeah, both of them. I had like 3 bets on the game. They all lost in the first half. So, it is what it is. $30 down the drain. But it is what it is. I think Mason just played slow in the first half. Second half, picked it up. Number 3, I don't know number 3's name, but the backup point guard, he definitely should start next game because he is the Energizer Bunny. He pushes the ball in transition, finds open guys, plays good defense. He's aggressive. Meanwhile, their starting point guard, who's just polite. Yeah, not very aggressive. He distributes, but it's more like passive distributing. He doesn't really get guys involved like actively, so that might be something that coach can look into. But
I'll counter that because I think Polite's pretty good. I think Polite's decent, but the fact that they're giving a lot less minutes, and I'm not sold on Maddox. I think Maddox is kind of trash. He had 24 points, so he technically was our leading scorer. Blah blah blah. This, blah blah blah. Crap if you want. But crap in your own mouth because Maddox's shot is ugly. I'm sorry, not sorry. His shot is ugly. He does not shoot the ball pretty at all. Sometimes you don't have to shoot the shot pretty. I don't care. He shoots it so ugly. The fact that we barely played any bench players too. We were looking for Mr. Hall. No, not sorry. Was it Hall? It was a Ball.
It's Ball, I think.
The white boy from last week. They didn't even play him 1 minute, not even one single minute, and he went hard the last game. And they didn't let him play at all.
Rotation was short. Well, they were on a short leash. The rotation was 8 deep. Yeah, coach wasn't playing. He wasn't playing around this game.
It wasn't even 8 deep. It was only 7 deep. Henry played probably like 3 minutes each half, which 7 minutes total. But he played like 3 minutes each half. He didn't play. He had 0 points. He had 1 rebound. He didn't get to fully play. He didn't. He wasn't around to play. They didn't let him play.
All right, yeah, that's true. I think moral of the story though, they Mason's good in transition, good at pushing the pace. When we play like half court offense, it just does not look good, honestly. But half court defense, they're good at. Transition defense is where they struggle at. So they got some opposing things they got to work on for sure.
I'm okay with it. That's a brand new coach. Pretty much a brand new team for him. You got to live with the pains you have. I'd rather have those pains in a team that kind of looks like it can't ever win a game ever, like we've had in the last couple of years. This is true. Still to this day, I'm so mad that we lost to VCU. We should never have lost to VCU. The Richmond game, okay, I can understand. I can let it go. The George Washington game, okay, we were on the road. After just playing Richmond on Saturday, we had to play George Washington on a Monday. It was a 2-day turnaround. It was Martin Luther King's Day. It was a big day. They just not show up for it. I can't excuse the VCU one. That's just the one loss that will always break the back.
Yep. So we got some games coming up. St. Joseph at St. Joseph's at UMass, and then the next home game is Wednesday, February 7th. I think that's in 2 weeks. So I think I'll probably go to that game. I don't know if you're going, but I'll probably go to that.
The only game on there that is any kind of scary is St. Joe's. We don't have a scary matchup until Dayton. So that's fun. I guess lovely for us. We don't have to play VCU again, so we don't have to get beat up by VCU again somehow, some way. But honestly, if I see this the rest of the schedule, we should. Okay, St. Joe's is going to be a problem. They almost always are. Loyola Chicago is going to be hard to play at home. So when we go on the road to them, we're going to be it's going to be a difficult one. George Washington, we should win at home. We have to win that one at home. And then the only other person on there I'm even remotely scared of is that Richmond game, the last game of the season. And hopefully that game doesn't have too much meaning to it, because Richmond will probably pump us in it again,
Yeah, we gotta have some hope, though. We gotta have some hope. Moving on, WWE guys, Royal Rumble was indeed this Saturday. I think we both missed out on the women's Royal Rumble. I think Bayley won that. But did you catch the Fatal 4-Way between Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, CM Punk, and LA Knight?
I did not. I did not.
You did not?
The only thing I saw was Roman defend his title, and I saw the men's Royal Rumble, and yeah, I saw the men's Royal Rumble and Roman Reigns defend his title.
Yeah, so I mean, Roman had his title defense. It was pretty obvious that he was going to win the fight.
And I saw Logan Paul's against Kevin Owens. Owens. That's like a fever dream that I remember watching.
So yeah, it was pretty obvious that Roman was going to win. It was just a matter of who he was going to win against. So that match was okay. The Kevin Owens and Logan Paul fight, honestly, I feel like that could have gone either way. But the stupid his buddies that got involved, and then Kevin Owens stole the brass knuckles off his face, off his hand, and punched the shit out of him. And then he got him the 3, and then the ref saw his hand and was like, "Oh, you're out of here, buddy." And then he proceeded to still beat him up. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I love that. That was so fun. I enjoy watching Logan Paul get beat up a little bit, but to be fair, you know, he does put on a good show every time for some damn reason.
Yeah, that boy, he actually can wrestle a little bit. I give it to him. He puts on a good show. So we might see something of that storyline moving forward. I don't know. But the men's Royal Rumble, this could have gone one of like three ways. Cody Rhodes, of course, he won, but that was one scenario. Scenario two was what? CM Punk winning and then going for a title match against Seth Rollins. And then three was the one I was hoping for the most. If Jay Uso actually somehow won, because he drew number one, if he actually survived the whole time and won, and then I think that would have been the way you could have gotten The Rock into it, because just imagine you have like a family triple threat match, The Rock, Jay Uso, and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, bro. That would have been a dream come true. But they went with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes won in the end. CM Punk tried to do a go to sleep. He countered and then threw the man out the ring. What'd you think about the men's?
I'm not gonna lie, the men's Royal Rumble last year was more entertaining. This year, I don't know. I didn't like the cast at the end. What was it, Gunther? Was it McIntyre, Gunther,
McIntyre,
Cody Rhodes,
Cody,
and CM Punk?
Yeah,
And I was like, I'm not really sold on this. I can't lie, Kofi Kingston isn't like Kofi Kingston of past Royal Rumbles. Bobby Lashley never gets to have a good run. They always kick him out of the ring way too quick. Bobby Lashley always walks in the ring, takes out the biggest, baddest dude in the ring, and then gets knocked out.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, Bobby Lashley doesn't actually get beat up this bad any other time. Damian Priest, I guess I kind of like this little run there, but I don't know. At this point, Damian Priest, like, you got to do something with him. He's honestly, in my opinion, he's really good. So, like, I would do something with him, but they just never take him anywhere, to be honest with you. But honestly, the best part was obviously our truth. Trying to tag in. That the R2 trying to tag in, and then getting tagged into Dominic Mysterio. Oh, probably one of the best parts of the night.
Oh, and then it was like the Miz. Dominic tagged him in, and the Miz was like about to hit him, and then R2 was like, "No, you can't hit him. He's on my team or something now." And then the Miz was like, "Wait, what?" And then they proceeded to throw him out. That was pretty funny. I think last year's was better, but Triple H has been cooking ever since he's taken over. So, like I told you off camera, I just started to get back into WWE once he took over. They've been cooking so far. I feel like this one was a little bit, like you said, the final cast probably could have been better. It was pretty predictable, honestly. I wish they would have threw in like a little curveball. They tried to with Pat, but Pat was like, bro. When Osmos was in there, he was like, I'm making a business decision. And he took himself out. I respect that, because that man is huge. 7'3", he is huge. He is literally the Black Big Show. Like, this dude is huge. I think he's probably taller than Big Show.
I'm totally in the same boat, Pat. I'm going to take myself out of this bad situation. There was no need for me to get in there and get smushed.
Yeah, that guy would have smushed it for sure. But yeah, it was pretty short pay-per-view match. So it's not too much to cover there. WrestleMania is in April, so we'll probably go over that. I try to look at tickets. They're hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So my dream of going is crushed. Maybe next year.
How come we never gone to a Raw event when it's over here?
It was just in DC like last month. I thought about it, but I think I went to a Wizards game instead. They do Eagle Bank and they do Capital One. So maybe next time they come around, we should go. I don't know if they'll bring the stars, but they probably have some B tier wrestlers probably.
I'm okay with some B tiers. Someone's got to get started somewhere.
Okay. We'll add that to the list. Other than that, I think we're done with rapid fire. Anything else you want to cover before we head on out?
Nope. I'm trying to get in the full swing of NBA. You know, I'm super into college basketball, but now I gotta start. I gotta start diving into this NBA action. I gotta start figuring out who I like for the big run at the end of the season. I got my college basketball down. I kind of know who's who and everything. For me, I'm not really too fond of the NBA. Mostly I don't really get into the NBA until about All-Star break, because that's when everyone starts caring, is right after All-Star break.
All right. Fair enough. That's it for me. Guys, since Super Bowl is 2 weeks away, we will probably have 2 basketball focused episodes. We'll do a mid-season recap of the NBA, and then throw in some college basketball the next 2 episodes, and then next Thursday we'll preview Super Bowl. So just a little heads up there. But other than that, I think we're gonna head on out. This is the MTL Sports Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening on Spotify, all that good stuff, and we're gonna head out. Peace.